guys, welcome back to Romance Review TV with Lady T. And I got another recap for you guys. Love Island USA Season 4, Episode 25. And we had a pretty interesting episode. We had this drama continue between Isaiah, Sydney, and Phoebe. And then we got a couple, I should say, that's exclusive. And we got a new boy coming into the villa. So before we unpack all of this, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And please don't forget to like and share. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about this episode. So as we remember from the previous episode, this whole thing with Phoebe and Isaiah and Sydney, it spilled over from the drama coming from Casa Amor, because we all know that Isaiah brought Phoebe over. Then we had this new romance budding between, of course, Jeff and Nadia. So let's jump into this episode. So we see Sydney is now, mulling over this whole situation. And Phoebe now wants to have a conversation with Sydney because she wants to put, I guess, Isaiah in this whole expose, because she feels that, of course, Isaiah didn't give her a full picture of everything that happened in Casa Amor between the two of them. Now, I gotta say this, even though Phoebe claims she's a girl's girl, she knew exactly what she was doing. She knew that if she had enough damaging information to share with Sydney, it would sever, or she hoped, would sever this tie that Sydney has with Isaiah, because ultimate goal for Phoebe is to have Isaiah to, herself. Now, in my head, I'm wondering, if a guy is sitting back watching this unfold, why would he want to be with you who's going to keep up drama like you're doing with Sydney? This is a tough situation, and Phoebe is just thinking that everything should just go on as normal. Look how hard you had to fight to get this guy, to get him to turn his head, knowing he full well had a connection with Sydney. And of course, she's going into detail about everything from, the way we cuddled, and, he touched my face, and, he made me feel like he told me that, he's want to give me a chance. Of course, if he brought you in the villa, he's giving you a chance, Phoebe. But you know what you're doing by laying it on thick. Now, I'm not giving Isaiah a pass, but it is what it is. So then we got Jared and Chauncey. Now, Jared is struggling now because he has a connection with Kat. Chauncey in this moment is acting like she's all okay, and I want you to explore and take advantage of the experience and go through the process, and I'm okay with that. If you have another connection, I'm not going to trap you and hold you in. Well, she's saying that for now. Just for now. And she's playing the good, I guess, girlfriend. They're not girlfriend and boyfriend, but she's just trying to be open and flexible and not apply any pressure. We'll see how long that lasts. So now Isaiah and Phoebe have a conversation. Now, Phoebe is like, I don't understand. Why are you not giving me the energy? You're not giving me any attention. You're so focused on Sydney. You're more worried about how she's feeling than how I'm feeling. And Isaiah is like, look, you realize I'm in a tough situation. Part of this process is exploring multiple connections. I have a connection that I saw with you, which is why I brought you over. But I still have a 3.5 week connection. 3.5 weeks is not long, but it feels like a year in the villa. I have a 3.5 week connection with Sydney. It's not going to be all stars and rainbows. She took offense to that statement and said, stop talking to me like I'm a child. And he was like, well, that's not what I'm doing. But honestly, what he's saying is that this is a tough process. Unless his head is completely turned, which it isn't, this is why this is happening. On the flip side, we see Isaiah watching the emotional struggles that Sydney's going through. And of course, that's bothering Phoebe because every time, Sydney walked past, Isaiah is checking to see if she, or just looking at her and checking to see if she's okay. And you can tell Phoebe is getting flustered because at this point, Isaiah is like, you know what? As much as I have a connection with you, I still have a connection with Sydney. And I want to also see where that go. That's the problem with this type of opportunity. As much as they come on this show, they want a circular date in this social experiment, because people get territorial, it's not as easy. And it's usually, women tend to want to lock down and get into, a specific relationship. We have seen some folks that kind of waver, so it's not 100%. But, a lot of the guys end up exploring options, and it's upsetting to the girls who want to get locked in. And unfortunately, as much as Phoebe want to lock him in, it's just not happening. He's still stuck on Sydney. Speaking of Sydney, Sydney is just, she's flustered. She's relaying to Zeta the whole conversation that Phoebe had with her. And you can tell by Zeta's face, I don't think Zeta really 100% believes what Phoebe is either saying, or she knows what Phoebe is doing, because it's kind of a manipulative conversation. You my girl and you looking out for me, but at the same time you giving me bad news so you can make me get mad at the guy that you want. And so it's messy. She could be coming from a place of good faith, or this is all part of a plan just to make Sydney just cut him off altogether, which opens the door completely for her. So now Isaiah, which this should happen, have a conversation with Sydney. And of course, Sydney is like, how could you do this to me? You hurt me. We had such a strong connection, at least I thought so. And he's like, well, yeah, I do, but I also had a connection with Phoebe. I just wanted to see where that go, but I do still have a connection with you. And it's just so darn confusing. And she even says that it's confusing, to say the least. Listen, I don't envy the position that Isaiah is in. Me, I could never do this type of show. I don't know about you guys. So now it's bedtime and we got some different bed arrangements. Nadja and Jeff is sleeping outside. And I even think there was a situation with, Kat and Jared. They actually slept outside. Chaz and Bella is doing well so far. Now we have a self-elimination because Nick, his connection with Nadja is over because she moved on to Jeff. So he made an announcement that at this point, he's ready to go home. There's no connection here for him at this point. And I don't blame him. Don't waste your time. So now Zeta gets a text message that her and Timmy is ready to leave the villa because they're going on a date. So that was exciting. Kind of give us a break from the whole Sydney, Phoebe, and Isaiah drama. It was so cute. They had this double bicycle. And I thought it was really cute. They had fun. And because his nickname is Timmy Swerve, he was swerving with that bicycle. But I am so happy for these two. And I'm proud of Timmy because he did good in Casa. So back over to Jared and Chauncey. And like I said, she was good earlier. Well, not so good now. So when it comes to these two, Jared pretty much lets her know that it's a wrap for us at this point. Back to Zimmy. They're putting this whole big potted plant together that has different things like trust and communication. And they didn't put sex in the pot because they said that they're not there yet. And I thought that was really, really cute for them to do. It wasn't your typical date, let's sit down and just talk and do this. It was actually very interactive. So back at the villa, Sydney is by herself, and Zay comes over. Look, I call him Zay. Isaiah comes over and says, you know what? I hate what this is doing to you. I've really made a different decision now. I'm here only for you. And she's like, well, why do you think I should trust you for that? I mean, he was like, oh my God, it was so tough for me. And she was like, was it really? And he's like, well, yeah, it was. My thing is, if you two are just going to go get back together, just do it. Now, I know they're doing it up for the drama for the show, but Sydney ain't going nowhere. And obviously, Isaiah is back on, her side. In regards to this whole thing with Jared and Kat, Kat is excited because Jared has officially told her that he wants to build a connection with her, which is what she's been wanting for a very long time. So much so that she tried to manipulate that whole last recoupling to use Chaz to get to Jared. Yeah, but no worries. Actually, she's in a good position with Jared, and Jared is happy to explore, the opportunity to build a connection with, with her. And I'm happy for them. So this is when this part really good. We cut back over to the date between Zemi, and he's like, you know what? I can see a future with you outside. I really like how far we've come. I'm only sold on you. And they are officially exclusive. He asked her. She said yes. And they sealed it with a kiss. So I'm excited. We got our first couple. I guess they're boyfriend and girlfriend. But at this point, we'll call it exclusive. So now Phoebe has decided that she's done with Isaiah. She says she want to put that to bed and close that behind her. Well, she's moving on. And I was shocked. I don't know about you guys, but I was shocked to find out that she wants to pursue a connection with her best gal pal's boy, Chaz. I'm like, what? Chaz? Okay. So I was wondering if Chaz was going to shut her down because he's with Bella. Well, he didn't. He was like, oh yeah, every time I see you and hug you, I was wondering if I wanted to kiss you, but I wanted to be respectful of my boy Zay. And I'm like, are you serious right now? I don't know if Chaz even know what he wants. And as for Phoebe, I don't even see the attraction there. He even said that Phoebe was taller than her. And because the guys were over 6 feet, they would be a better fit. He said that over in Casa Amor. So I don't get this. I don't know what she's trying to do. Is she trying to get the nicest guy to move on or manipulate him by thinking that, oh my God, I got a chance? Okay, whatever. So Zemi returns back into the villa. They're excited to tell both the girls and the guys that they have officially became exclusive. And so everybody is cheering and excited for him, and so are we. I know I'm excited for the two of them. I'm just glad that after all of the drama they went through with the whole Bria situation, that they ended up back together. And he said he knew before Casa that she was going to be the one. So now there's a text message that comes in that there's going to be a recoupling for the single islanders. There are 2 single boys. And then, of course, there's Jeff and Jesse. And then we have, of course, Kat, Deb, Sydney, and Naja. So Jeff makes his decision. And of course, we all know what that was. He chose Naja, and yeah, I'm liking these two. He said he's a playboy, but not no more. He's tired of those ways. Then Deb. Now, this speech by Jeff lasted for a good 10 minutes of the show. But it was so beautiful, so eloquent, and he needed to do that because she needed him to prove show and prove that he's made some growth. These 2 young ladies, Kat and Sydney, are single. However, they got a text message that the new boy is coming into the villa. And why did Phoebe's eyes light up like a Christmas tree? And why did we see Isaiah sulking when the new guy came into the villa? And all I can say is, Isaiah, be afraid. Be very afraid. Because if he scoop up Sydney, and it looks like Phoebe's already done, it could be a wrap for you and you could be on the chopping block. So there you have it, our recap for Love Island USA Season 4, Episode 25. Stay tuned for the next videos. And again, I appreciate all of your engagement on these videos and on this channel. And until the next one, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel to receive all updates. And please don't forget to like and share. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.